are so proud that they did such an amazing job and that they really get to feel their passion and put it on display.
To think that some of these students are fresh out of freshman class, they've got 300 hours and they're producing runway work. It's just amazing to think that, you know, our educators work so hard at teaching them the skills, and it's just awesome to see. It gives me goosebumps just to relive it. The majority of them the next day, like they just got that, okay, like the adrenaline just has left their body, and it's a truly valuable experience for them.
I think that it was way more rewarding to them than they expected. They knew it was a lot of work, but I don't think they had any idea what the event was going to do in the long run for them. It has motivated them, it has inspired them, doing things that they thought they would never be able to do, that they actually can because they've done it themselves. To be actually see their work on stage has made them proud.
I think one of the things that it also teaches the students, and I think this is invaluable, is that they now have a skill that they understand can benefit the community in one way or another. So they can take this skill and they can donate it however they choose to after they're licensed. So some of the students will get involved in other types of charities.
It definitely brings them together. There's a sense of these personalities, and especially in cosmetologists, we're very strong with our personalities. And all of a sudden, the day before and the day of, everybody collectively wants it to be a successful show. So you see people that may have never spoke to each other in the clinic, or just maybe just completely different personalities come all together. It's a complete bonding experience. It enables them to work with every different personality type, which again brings you into the real world, because that's what's going to be like. Everybody's not going to be like you, so it's important to be able to work as a team.
I had a couple of people come up to me, and I'm not sure who they were, but they were obviously support people saying, wow, we're just so excited that our students chose your school. This has changed who they are at home as well as who they are out in the workplace. They get to be very proud in front of their parents, their friends, their families. It's huge. I think it's a huge confidence boost for the students.
It's super rewarding. It's so much fun.
You get to take pictures and you get to keep it in your portfolio and show people how creative you can be.
I think it's a great opportunity for people to pull something out of themselves that they might not necessarily know they have.
It makes them take their portfolio building to the next level, not only taking their salon success and salon business courses, but actually applying it in a whole different perspective makes them a better and more desirable professional when they graduate.
I think that being participatory in this type of a fashion show and style show and getting a taste of it gives them the confidence to go, you know, I did some of that, I can do that.
I see who the future leaders are going to be, and who's got strong leadership skills, and who's going to be a good manager in a salon or a spa, because they prove those skills and they hone those skills during the whole process.
They ended up raising $2,510, which was $600 more than last year. The Center for Grieving Children touched every single person that was in this room when we were voting at some time or another, whether it was somebody close to them or them personally. So the school actually comes together in support of that. And that's what's really important, taking all the modalities and making them aware of what we're doing. It's not about just the cosmetology students. It's about taking a foundation and really giving back. It's exhausting as an instructor. It's sometimes like the 2 weeks before you feel like, oh my gosh, it's falling apart, it's not going to come together, we need to communicate more. They get overwhelmed and they really feel the pressure.
So they get to see the process of building and keeping the fire going, and how much push that they have to keep throughout the whole process just to hit that deadline. That's hugely invaluable.
The day before the style show, when they're doing their dry run, you can feel how tense the energy is, and the anticipation and the excitement, and oh my god, I need to do this perfectly. Once they get through that practice day, the next day everybody's like, oh. It also teaches them that I'm capable, I can do this. And there's nothing more empowering than knowing that you can do it.
I'm Emily Valandry.
I'm Carly Coleman.
She is a gorilla. That's our inspiration. I guess our inspiration was just really dark, really big hair, and just creepy.
Scary.
And I think we've got the creepy down. Because everyone's been like, oh my god. Gorilla, I thought, really big hair. It's in a work in progress right now. We're waving it. It's going to look like that. It's going to be just really, really big. Makeup, we wanted to do really dark, and then with like yellow eyes, because most gorillas have yellowy, kind of disgusting eyes.
I've been taking the morning to get used to this because it's kind of uncomfortable, but I'm getting there.
That was probably
It's okay now.
our biggest stress of the whole thing, I guess, was the contacts. The poor thing, she'd have to go in the mirror, her eyes would be watering everywhere. I've already told all the freshmen. We walked in the day we practiced her hair and I was like, you have to do it. It's just, who gets to do this all the time? I mean, even other schools and even people in the past that have been here, they don't get to do this stuff. And you get to take pictures and you get to keep it in your portfolio and show people how creative you can be. And it shows a different side of you that you won't get to see in a salon. I've never done makeup and hair for this type of thing before. So just seeing it and then it's like, wow, like I put that together, that's pretty cool. I definitely recommend to anybody to just do it. I talked to my friend Lauren into doing it and she has no regrets at all. She's having a ball and she was somebody that wasn't sure in the beginning. So definitely just do it. It's so much fun. Do want to do weddings and proms and things like that. But I never thought about doing theater and stage makeup and stuff like that. But from doing this, it kind of just got me a little bit interested in it because it's so much fun. Because you don't get to do this kind of stuff every day. No one's gonna want to look like this for their wedding. Let's be real. I didn't think it was gonna be this cool until now. I'm looking. I'm like, yeah. It was fun. It was rewarding to see my model going up there and strutting her stuff. She did a really good job.
I get goosebumps every year. It's like, oh my God, did you see that? Like Peggy and I are going back and forth in the show and I'm talking to Nancy and it's like, wow, because I see bits and pieces of it as they're working, really close to the production. But behind the scenes, I try to avoid going into the room too much because I want a little bit of a surprise. And it's just like, wow. I was in the restroom yesterday and I was just like watching the models come in and I'm like, wow, she really took that idea and ran with it. It's just, it just makes me feel so good inside to know that that's something that we have a part in.
My name is Harmony Bidwell. I am a stylist. We got Plant Life. I decided to go pixie, nymph kind of a creation. So I'm going to be body painting her entire body green. The makeup's going to be a little avant-garde. Just going to have some lower lashes and some black dots along, almost mask-like looking. Well, she's got some fusion extensions in there. She's trying to grow out her real hair, so we didn't want to color that or touch that in any way. So, yeah, I straightened some pieces, I curled some pieces, and I crimped some pieces. Tried to blend it as much as I could with the top part there. Yeah, we wanted to look kind of messy. Planning is good. Yeah, don't just wing it. Take your time. Figure out what you want to do. Allow enough time for it. I've been having a really good time with it. I'm surprised actually that I'm not more nervous or stressed out. I feel like there's plenty of time today, and we've got a lot to do, but I think it's going to be really fun. I can't wait to see it all together. I hope I can use it as part of my portfolio. The idea of doing editorial work, or even theater, working in a theater doing makeup and hair, I would love to do that. So getting some experience being a stylist on this end would be really great. I think it's going to help me a lot.
I'm Jennifer Lobline and I'm the stylist.
I just sat down and did. I spent a while thinking it up in my head, probably a month of just brainstorming before I even sat down and started creating. I made both of my costumes from scratch. Tiffany's going to have a long leopard print gown on, and Catherine has a long dress with a long train that hopefully we don't trip on stage. The long train on the parrot dress is not really made for a 4-foot wide stage and about 5 turns, so that's going to be a challenge. It's weighted down with $14 worth of pennies, so hopefully the weight keeps it behind her and not under her feet because her hands are going to be above her head. I would say do it because it's great to put in your portfolio. I've been taking pictures the whole process. It's hard to get photos, especially in school, because it's a lot of perms and stuff like that, short haircuts, so to show a more diverse portfolio.
Emily, Target.
And KANDIS and Gray.
Basically what we envisioned is that she's an ocelot woman that has just discovered herself and that she's kind of different from her pack. And so she's taken bits and pieces from her environment to kind of cover herself, to be more modest. What you'll see later in the style show is that it's really minimal. And we've basically used her skin and just the natural beauty of her hair, and we've just enhanced those things to bring it out. I think originally we thought, okay, how are we going to make her into an ocelot? And they were like, you know what, wait a minute, we're not thinking outside of the box. Yeah. This industry is not in a box, and so we can do whatever we want. And so we took that idea and we run with it, and it has made it a lot of fun because guess what? We're not going to be like anybody else, and that's what we want. We want to stand out.
Another thing that we're doing with her costume is we've found things that look like nature products that we're going to completely cover her body with to just make her look like she crawled right out of the Amazon.
To be honest, we've not had our makeup class yet. We went on YouTube, we looked at pictures. The first time we tried, it wasn't good. It just really wasn't good. And I was really scared. We just started playing around with the makeup, and the makeup piece itself is so important, having the right product and blending and not being afraid to make a mess because it's gonna blend out, it's gonna be okay. Each time we've done it, it's gotten better and better, and it's such a confident builder. KANDIS and I teamed up because she just passed her due date yesterday. We were not sure if she was going to make it, but we both wanted to participate, but we didn't want to leave the school in a jam, and we just collaborated, and we've worked on the makeup together, the outfit together. The hair is the brainchild of KANDIS, so you'll see that beautiful piece of work later.
I think it's really nice how everyone is actually collaborating together. If they see that someone's having a hard time, we jump in and help each other out. Like, it's not a competition, it's a style show that we all do come together. We're night students, we're the only night students doing this. We don't necessarily see any of these people, but yet we can all come together and we know what the cause is for, and just, you know, make sure it's perfect for everyone, not just for the individual.
Kelly Baker, this is my tiger. For the tiger, my whole thing was to not make it look like a Halloween costume. So I was just trying to get really fierce, like a tiger with the hair. The dress is pretty radical and fierce in itself. The costume was easy for me, yeah. And I don't sew, so it's been done with a lot of safety pins and metal. But
That's kind of the theme.
That's kind of went with what I feel. I feel metal is kind of strong, like the tiger, so I implemented that, and she's barefoot because I wanted to have some element of nature in there. And her makeup is really going to speak for itself. Just her eyes are going to be really very tiger-like. angry, yet not trustable. Oh, I've learned so much, not just from this, but I was one of the people that helped organize this whole show. So for me, that's where most of my education came in. Like it's a lot, like finding sponsors and phone calls and timing and money. Money was a huge thing for me, like to know that you have to earn the funds to put the show on, and that was a good learning experience. But as far as the hair, makeup, costume, I've learned to just trust my gut instinct and not reach out to anyone else but myself, because I found myself looking at other people, and so I advise to anyone to always go with your gut when it comes to creativity. They said, would you like to do that? And I said yes without thinking. It wasn't just me, we had a few hands in this, but yeah, they volunteered me as one of the organizers, and I was ready to take on the challenge. There have been days where I was a little regretful, but today it feels amazing. I wouldn't change it for a thing. It was really rewarding. I designed the t-shirts this year and the programs, and yeah, so for me, I needed that this year. It's been good.
We decided that we were coming into this today with a really good attitude.
Yep. Which is necessary. Any girls who do this in the future, bring your good attitude.
It's easy to get stressed out. It's easy to get discouraged.
It is. It's so easy. There's a lot of girls under one roof. As long as you can come centered, ready to just stay in your area and be willing to help others, for sure, but, you know, stay focused. Don't think that it's not an outside of school commitment, because it is, but not until the very end. If you're going to be organizing it like you're going to take a lot of it home, but like I said before, it's super rewarding, and it's, I think, probably good for your resume if you ever want to do things like fashion shows, you know, and I say do it, for sure, do it, because today is so fun, but don't do it if you don't have the time, because then you're going to feel stressed, but you can always make time. So I have 2 kids. I did it.
The day before was a little stressful, but then the day of, it was the most calm preparation day, the day of a style show I think we've ever experienced. And then when they got up on stage, they took it above and beyond our expectations, and then overall exceeded and surpassed the prior year. When we were a little nervous thinking we weren't going to achieve that, we did. So we were extremely relieved and surprised and happy.
My name is LILIA GARCELON. My model is Gael. I was really excited to do this. I've done quite a bit of modeling, and I'm a performance artist, and I just like doing creative fun stuff with people as the canvas. So that was part of my decision to come to school, and a big part of the decision to do the style show. My inspiration for this look was a cockatoo, so I'm doing the swoops with the hair, and we did the colors. The outfit I made by hands. It's like a cape and then some wings with matching colors with the hair. There was a particular bird that I looked at that had just like a big swatch of color on its face, and so we're going to do that, and then probably yellow lip, yellow eyebrows. Time management is a really great skill that I've been getting better at as things progress, with doing more stuff with other people and not just myself. I have a lot of perfectionist tendencies, and so there has to be a point where I kind of have to stop and let it be what it is, and step away and kind of, you know, let it take its course. Yeah. In a way, it's always a surprise to me how many people actually support and get behind me and want to be a part of something that I'm doing. I have a lot of creative friends, a lot of people that are really artistic and really appreciate the aesthetic that I bring, and so it's nice to be able to bring them into the equation as well. My biggest thing is that you should always be ambitious. I don't think a lot can be accomplished by being timid and not experimenting and making mistakes and not giving yourself a chance to kind of explore something that you might not do every day or might not have ever experienced. I think it's a great opportunity for people to pull something out of themselves that they might not necessarily know that they have.
I have two local models here, and the first one is going to be an insect. So I am going to be using some hair techniques where basically I'm just going to be tucking pieces of hair under to create kind of like a shell. For makeup application, I'm going to be keeping it very simple, but accentuating her big eyes like a bug, like an insect. With Alex here, she is going to be a black leopard, and so I'm going to be doing some shading with just contrasting darks and lights with her to create kind of a velvety appearance on her face. For her hair, I'm going to be incorporating a headpiece into a braid. Their costumes are both old, reused, vintage things from my grandmother that I kind of re-incorporated into newer things to give both of them kind of a vintage look on the runway to kind of keep it not only costumey but also fashionable. I learned so much about how much work goes into throwing events like this, and it's inspired me a lot to think of all of the dynamics. I feel comfortable with the design decisions, so I left that until now when I'm with my models and I can work with them hand in hand because I don't see them often. So I learned really to put a lot of work and effort into the things that don't get seen during the show necessarily. The backstage work, how to throw an event benefiting another cause. It's been truly amazing to learn that.
The level of camaraderie that you feel in that room with all these women gathered together, I just love seeing all these women just be beautiful and help each other.
There's a lot of things going into it and a lot of stressors that we're thinking about, but where I don't see my models very often, it's a chance for us to spend really good quality time together, talking, laughing, being open to the different ideas, and it's just a lot of fun.
I think the biggest thing that I see is I see teamwork amongst the students. They really come together as a team to produce the style show every year. And
once they get that feeling, well, I'm producing this is my accomplishment, they then hold that inside themselves. So that feeling of being passionate, being mission-driven to produce the product, which is their beautiful model and their style and their hair, is going to be something they can catch and feel to be inspired for the rest of their life. So I think it ignites something that they'll be able to recognize and go back to.
I'm Tanya. I am a stylist, and Penny's my model, and Sarah's my model. Well, Annie's going to be a beetle. She's going to be designed wearing basically all black. She's going to have one wing. She's going to be asymmetrical with that one wing. Her hair is going to be up with a pompadour, and she's going to have some long flowing curls with a few braids on the sides to kind of give her that big rounded kind of beetle-esque look. And she's going to be very stocky looking and beetly. And then Sarah is my cheetah. So we've got to pump her up a little bit, make her a little more fierce. So we're going to give her a nice smoky eye, beautiful lip. Her hair is going to be up and big and flowing. She's going to have, of course, some cheetah all over. and cheetah breasts and just being cheetah-ish. Learning to be patient with the process, because it can be very frustrating when you're trying to put something together, especially when you have two models and you're trying to get your ideas from your head out into the world. That is a very difficult thing, and understanding the process and understanding the timing and how much of that information you're going to be able to actually relay. So I learned how to just kind of be patient with myself and my own process. I think I've gained some really cool, awesome friends. Like, I didn't realize how many people were appreciating the work that I was putting out there and the energy that I was putting out, that I was actually not realizing that I was getting back. People who I would normally think that I would really get along with or maybe wouldn't want to work with them. And I realized that those people are the exact people that I needed, because they brought something that I needed, and I brought something to them that they may have needed.
I'm E.B. Carter, and this is my model, Danny, and she is a rock python. I heard about the style show from last year and was really intrigued by it because I really wanted to have my work be seen by people. As soon as the teachers announced that it was going on, I signed up. I had many visions, but this was the one that I stuck with. So her hair represents the python's body, and pythons are constrictors rather than venomous snakes, so they choke their prey rather than bite it. So her hair is going to eventually wrap around her body. We had to try a lot of different ways to get the scales, but we found that the fishnets actually really worked the best because they gave us this really good diamond pattern of the scales. I'd like to have my own salon. So networking and just really talking to my model and getting to know what she's going to be doing, and just working with the other stylists and seeing how they work with each other, it helped me see what I needed to do to work in a busy, fast-paced environment. Teachers have been super supportive, kind of standing out of the way, letting us do what we want to do. And students, kind of same thing, a little bit of competitiveness, but that's also in the industry. So that's kind of good too that I experienced that. It's so much fun, and this is the industry that we're in, so you just have to really communicate with your model. It's all about communication and just being personable and fun and understanding. You have to know that you're a stylist and you may do some things that they don't think is pretty or whatever, but I do, so I'm gonna do it.